There is one specific lead arm movement that separates elite ball strikers from everyone else. And 90% of golfers are getting it completely wrong. And this move is all about rotation. It's not just about how much it rotates, it's the timing of when it rotates. This timing error is your hidden cause behind your loss of direction. But today we're going to break it down into this 90-degree rule and the G position, the golden delivery point. This is going to ensure a square face to get back your direction and a pro-level compression. So let's get started. So to understand this move, look at how the arm actually rotates in the swing. Every great ball striker rotates their left arm around 90 degrees clockwise in their backswing. They then turn it 90 degrees anti-clockwise back to impact, and a further 90 here as they move the club through. But if you do this at the wrong time, your direction suffers, and this is the problem that most golfers have. They rotate too early in the takeaway and too early in the downswing. And we want the opposite. We want to hold off this rotation until later in the backswing, and then we want to hold it off later in the forward swing so that our arm is not rotating here and it's rotating here through the ball. So understanding the amount of turn is one thing, but if your timing is off in the takeaway or the forward swing, then your club head control is gone. So let's first fix your takeaway. So the error starts here in this takeaway move, and most golfers roll their arm open here at the beginning. It affects the club face as it moves here back behind you. Better players will keep the club head outside their hands by avoiding this roll. We have 90 degrees of rotation for the whole backswing, so we don't want to use it here early and lose the club behind you. So a great drill we can use to do this, we can take the right hand and place it here on the inside of your left forearm. So from here, in the first takeaway move, we're going to support the left arm and feel there's a little bit of rotation, but not this early rotation which you could have had before. So from here, it's almost sort of halfway back. We can again feel a slight rotation in the left forearm, and this will ensure that your club head is staying outside your hands. Now as you hinge and set your wrists, that's where we can complete the rest of the rotation here, and we can feel it again with this right arm and right hand as we turn to the 90 degrees, the complete 90 degrees rotation. And now we have the left arm in a good position, the left hand in a good position as you've set your wrist. Your club's on plane, bottom of the club pointing to the ball or just inside the ball. And then from here, it's just a case of rotating, finishing your pivot to get to the top of the swing. So a great drill, simple drill. Take your right hand, support your left arm, feel the turn. Not early in the backswing, but here is your wrist set, and then up to the top of the swing. So setting the backswing correctly is vital. Transition is where we have to avoid the next trap. Rotating here too early is the next problem. So let's look at that. Okay, so we have the good position now at the top of the swing, but just like the takeaway, we need to avoid any of this early rotation. We want to save that rotation in this left arm, this left forearm, for later in the forward swing. So what I see happen, if that rotation does happen here, we see the club getting moved outside the hands, and we see this sort of cupping position here, which is opening your club face. Now, this will lead to this sort of cutting across the ball. It will lead to weak strike. So again, these two things are very much connected. We see the rolling too early, or that rotation too early of the lead arm in the forward swing generally leads to that club face opening. So let's do the opposite. As we get to the top of the swing, let's hold off any rotation. If we do that, that gets us into this G position, as I call it, this golden delivery position. Now check yourself on your video. You can set your camera up here, and I want you to look at what's happening. If you do this correctly, let the arm drop down without any rotation, your club head is going to stay behind your hands. That's the first checkpoint. Secondly, your club face now is almost sort of up and down, maybe the toe of the club slightly on top of the heel. So this position. This left arm isn't rotated yet, back of the left arm, back of the left hand, nice and flat. This is what I call the G position. You're set up here, your club's on a good path, and your club face is still nice and square. Great delivery position, ready for the next part of the swing. Now again, if you were someone before, once you checked on video, you sort of felt that this arm moved outside, this sort of rotates, or the club head moves out, and you start to cup your wrists. What you may want to see is you look for this sort of G position. You may need to feel this, your hand and the back of your hand is moving in the opposite direction. You may almost need to feel that you're bowing your hand slightly to close the club face down. Now it probably won't be as much as this, or you probably won't see it as closed as much as this. But again, if you were someone who was rotating the left forearm too soon in the forward swing, cupping the back of the left hand and opening the club head, you need to almost exaggerate this, or really exaggerate this. As you come down without the left arm rotating, I want you to feel that your sort of knuckles here are being pushed back towards this camera. It won't be as much as this, but it will feel quite exaggerated. You'll feel like you're really closing the club face down. And then again, check on the cameras. Look at yourself, see what's happening. See how much you have to exaggerate it to get that good position. So the opposite would be that early rotation, this cupping, the club head gets outside the hands, and from here, you're down to a late release, a late scoop to save the shot, or this sort of cutting across, arms pulling up, none of the things that you want in a golf shot. So finding and holding this G position is what gives you total face and path control. So now we've fixed the transition, let's work it into impact. So from that G position to impact, this is where we can finally release that 90 degrees of rotation in the forward swing. And this is the moment we get that solid compressed strike, because you aren't fighting the club face. You aren't flicking the wrists to save the shot. You release the wrists as you rotate that left forearm again. The back of your glove is turning towards your target, and then continues so it points behind you post impact. This is how you're going to create stability in the club face, because it never got out of control. You've moved the left arm correctly from address up to the top through transition, and then back down through impact. You're rotating to and then through. So the drill we're going to use here is similar to the one that we did in the takeaway. It's again using the right hand to feel how much rotation is happening and when it's happening, more importantly. So again, we can support the right arm as we did before, but we now have this good position here. But it's the same thing. I want you to let the club come down to this sort of impact position or pre-impact position here, and feel again that the left arm has done nothing in terms of rotation in this part of the swing. This is bringing you down to where we were. Now from here, while the right hand's still there, then we can feel that rotation through. It's the 90 degrees that we need back in the forward swing, square the face, and then it rotates again as we come through. There's no rotation here. It's now here, there's a wrist set, and this takes us to the top. And it's the same as we come down. We don't want to feel this rotation in the left arm. We're moving down without that rotation. Your right hand will be there to support it. And this is giving you that perfect position. Like we said before, if you were someone who was cupping the wrist before, this club face was slightly getting open, you may want to feel like your knuckles are pointing back towards the camera, and that's going to help sort of close that club down. But feel that right arm, feel that right hand sort of supporting that club back towards its impact position. At the same time you do that, we get that body rotating left, that left hip going over that left ankle, so it's getting you back into this impact position. That's what I want you to see on the camera, this G position that we talked about. Same with every club, irons, driver, every club. If you can get into this good pre-impact position and your club face is still square, your swing path is still on track, and you're going to give yourself the best opportunity for these great strikes and great direction. We've done that a few times, the takeaway drill, the transition drill. Let's get back hitting balls. So we've got no rotation here early, and no rotation here, and then we can rotate. So we now understand how much rotation we need in the backswing, how much rotation we need back before impact, what happens as the club comes through. But it's not all about just the amount of rotation, it's all about the timing as well. We don't need it in the takeaway, we don't need it in transition. It's later in the backswing and it's later in the forward swing. And that's how you're going to keep control of not only your club face, but also your club path. Now your ball flight is like your GPS for your rotation and timing. If you're still seeing misses, it's likely because you've slipped back into the old habits. But looking where the ball starts and how it curves, you can start to diagnose your own swing in seconds. So while you're practicing and while you're using these drills, look at your shots. Again, anything that goes right, whether it's a fade or a shot that's like a push, anything straight right, is down to a club face that is open to your path in some way. So that would suggest maybe you've rolled the arm too much here in the backswing, not had time to square the face before impact, or you've come down from the top of the swing, maybe it's a little bit over the top with this cupping, and again, that's led to this open club face. If that happens, if you're seeing a lot of shots to the right, check this rotation and where it's happening. We don't need it early in the takeaway. We want to keep the club head outside the hands. Do that and you're halfway towards these straighter shots. From the top of the swing, we don't need the rotation. And again, if you're someone who's seen the ball go to the right before, feel those knuckles are back here more. You've just sort of bowed this wrist, the knuckles and the logo of your glove is pointing here more towards the camera. That's going to close your club face down. And if you're someone who sees the opposite, you're seeing shots go left, good chance that from here, you've sort of thrown the club out, the left arm's rotated too soon in the forward swing, and the club head has got outside the hands. This, with a squarer face to that path, is going to see your shots go left. So use the shots, use the drills, build up the swing that we talked about. Now you know when you need the rotation and how much and what time in the swing we want to see it, and then use the shots as a guide to see what's happening. So your lead arm is like your steering wheel for your direction. So remember, there's no early roll in the takeaway. And then from the top of the swing, you're holding that rotation into this G position. And then you're releasing it fully through the ball. If you nail the timing, your game in your swing will become far more easier. Now, as always, I put everything from today's video in your very own PDF video guide. You can get that inside the community by clicking the link below. And also inside the community, you can still take advantage of your free swing analysis. So if you're not already a member, click the link below and come and sign up. It'll be great to have you part of it. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I release new videos like this every week to help you play smarter and more consistent golf. And drop a comment if you have any questions. I read everyone and I'll get back to you. Now, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.